Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Daily Grind. I'm Dan DeBruler, and there's a story in Matthew 14 about Jesus walking on water and then calling to Peter to come to him on the water. And I think in many of our minds, that's where we leave it. We neglect the other miracles because sometimes that story is presented as if we're all meant to do impossible things like walk on water. But let's not forget that in this story, we see Jesus walking on the water and Peter failing. This is more about what God can do, not what we can do. You know, an even worse misunderstanding of the story comes when we read it as if no miracles at all happened in the boat. 11 miracles happened in the boat, 11 faith miracles. The men were told to be in the boat and to stay in the boat, but they didn't want to be in the boat. They wanted to be sleeping on dry land, back where the feeding of the multitude had occurred, but instead they were soaking wet, sleep-deprived, panic-stricken, and about to lose their marbles. And then here comes Jesus, walking through the storm. They learned that day that He is God. They learned that day that He has total control over nature. You might also notice that Jesus doesn't take Peter out for a walk on the water with him. Jesus grabs Peter and takes him back to the boat. The boat is still where Jesus wants Peter to be. It's still where He wants all of them to be. And once Jesus gets in the boat, the waves and the wind die down. And they all worship Jesus. They're worshiping Him in a new way because they've seen a completely new angle of His divinity. The storm was totally worth it. See, faith isn't just about believing for whatever you want. It's about believing God for what He has said. And if we know we've heard Him about something, we can have mountain-moving faith as we believe Him at His word. Often, though, we hear God's more direct voice as an expression of His general will to all of us in Scripture. It's in all of Scripture. And general obedience shouldn't be considered any less important. It's hard to stay faithful because naturally we're jumpy. Those of us living obedient lives to God's general will can know that Jesus is in the boat with us, leading us into incredible destiny with Him, even through the storms of life. Remember this, faith is about hearing God both as part of a community and as an individual. And our wise response makes the difference between a life changed and disappointment. You're in the Daily Grind on Christian 105.7.